writers, true graffiti writers, have the ability to write any script on this earth. Three guys that came from New York, Peely, Fresh, Nick Salsa, and someone else, okay? They came from New York with, concepts of graph and concepts of b-boyism that they were able to spread personally through the community. And simultaneous with this was, of course, the media onslaught that reached the youth, around the world, that spread the whole, ideal of hip-hop. It was a very utopian kind of concept, utopian concept in an urban jungle, and really it was spread through the, I think primarily a lot of us in Chicago either got it through these individuals that were directly in touch with some of these that were, people from New York, or we got it from the films. And if you study many of the, style masters, and if you talk to a lot of people, you'll be able to figure out who was influenced by what. There is an older generation of breakers and writers in Chicago that were active before B Street and breaking came out, on the west side. So these guys had some sort of direct influence. And then there was a second generation, of 80s B-boys, like 82, probably starting at 82, 83, and 84, that were influenced by Wild Style, Beat Street, Flashdance, The Pilot, whatever, just all these movies, and we emulated. What's interesting is that we emulated the ideology that was presented in a lot of those films, which was not truly representative of actual hip-hop or even, all these different art forms, that were collected together. And so the hip hop that was created, I think, in many of these other towns and extensions was not, truly a mirror image of what was happening in New York City. It was very much like a collective image of what these movies presented. And so to this day, people, graffiti writers see squatting as a natural part of what we do as hip hop, because that's what Ramo was doing in Beat Street. They squatted in a poor ass community, and painted the refrigerator on the wall, whatever. Like, those are the type of things that we figured, we were like, damn, that's the shit, whatever. So I think those were two major influences that sparked things off in Chicago. And one thing I do want to mention is that I really think it was breaking and graph that were the main outlets, originally, because I don't think they were really, I think a lot of the rappers in that time period were older. Remember how old, Grandmaster Cass, the one who wrote Rappers Delight, how old he and the Biters were, and these were men. They were 30-something-year-old guys rapping. And those rappers existed, I think, probably in a lot of cities, all over the place. The Sugar Hill came out before those films came out. The point was that many of these people were breakers and graffiti writers. A lot of people weren't DJs because that was just beyond affordability means, getting that type of technology. And so what's beautiful about that generation was that there was almost, there was very little separation in terms of what you could be in the art forms. You were just as a B-boy, you were automatically a graffiti writer or vice versa. And that was a beautiful thing, because now we have more, separation in our elements sometimes. To educate our breakers, hip hop's what I love by, live by, hug my, give my, spray my, break my, create my, innovate my, serenade my, dance my dreams on the streets of the Chi. Reinvigorate, elevate, reenfranchise, shop rock, see the world through a shorty's eyes.